Hi friends, hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to our C# video series. So today we will discuss on constructors. So let's get started. A constructor is a special method in a class or struct that is called automatically when an instance of the class or struct is created. So it is a special method. Like why it is a special method we will discuss. So it is a special method in a class or struct. Struct we will discuss in a later video, that is called automatically. So whenever we are creating any methods in our class, we need to call it explicitly by using the object of that class. But in case of a constructor, that is called automatically when an instance of the class or struct is created. So whenever an object or instance is created for the class, that time it will call automatically. The primary purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object state by setting initial values for its fields or properties. Constructors have the same name as the class and don't have a return type, not even void. So constructor name always same with this class name and don't have a return type, not even void. So void is also a return type, but constructor don't have any return type. So what is the key points about constructor? Let's open Visual Studio. Constructor, let's say this is a constructor. So car class is the class name. So if you see, car class is the class name and here constructor is also having the same name and don't have any return type. There is no int, void and all. So only the class name, and it is a method. So it is a special type of method whose name is same with the class name. Then same name and no return type. Constructor don't have return type. So if you see, there is no return type, not even void. Types of constructor, there are different types of constructor. One is default constructor, parameterized constructor, static constructor. So parameterless constructor, default is parameterless, the constructor which don't have any parameter. So if you see, there is no parameters for this constructor, so it is called a default constructor that initialize fields with default values. So it will initialize these two fields with default values. Let's say model is unknown and year is 0. So this default value we are setting in this default constructor. A parameterized constructor, a constructor that accepts parameters to initialize fields with specific values. So whenever we will create a parameterized constructor, we need to pass some parameters to this constructor like string model int year, and we are assigning the same value, this model to this dot model and this year to this dot year. This means nothing but our fields, and this model and year is this parameter. If you see model, go to definition, it will indicating for this model, and this dot model is nothing but our class fields, this model and year. So we are assigning to this class variable this dot model and this dot year with this our parameter. Next is static constructor, a constructor that initialize static members of the class. So whenever there is any static member inside our class, to initialize those variables or those members, we need a static constructor. So let's like discuss one by one. Example of constructor, I have already copied those example here. So let's say car main class, here I am creating one object of this class. So what I am doing here, car class, car1 is the object name, new car class, I am creating the object. So whenever I will create an object of the class, that time that default constructor will call automatically. So default constructor, public car model unknown year equal to 0. This constructor initialize the model and year fields with default value when a car object is created without any arguments. So whenever I have created a object of the car class without any argument or parameter, that time that default constructor will called. Let's add a debugger here. This is our default constructor. and this is our main method object creation. So let's run the application and see the output. So here I am creating one object of the class, so it will directly go to this default constructor and it will set the value as model unknown and here is equal to 0 and car1 dot display details. So what this display details is doing, it is just printing the car model number and car year. So let's run the application. Okay, car model unknown, car year 0. So this is the default value. Next, parameterized constructor. This one is our parameterized constructor. If you see, this one is our parameterized constructor. So parameterized constructor, when it will be called? So whenever I will create this car2 object by passing two parameter or two arguments to this car2 object, that time that parameterized constructor is going to be called. Let's comment this out. So let's run the application once again. Display, okay, parameterized constructor. This one is our parameterized constructor. Okay, so it will now go to this parameterized constructor and whatever we have passed here Tesla and 2021, it will print here Tesla 2021. So it will assign the same value to our variable model and here, and let's run the application as well. So Tesla and 2021. So this is our parameterized constructor. Okay, then static constructor. So this constructor allows the creation of a car object with specific value for the model and year fields. This keyword is used to distinguish between the class fields and the constructor parameters. So clear, we have already discussed these points. Static constructor. So static constructor is used to initialize static member of a class. Static member, it is called automatically before any static members are accessed or any instance of the class are created. A static constructor does not take any parameters and cannot be called explicitly. So static constructor doesn't take any parameters and cannot be called explicitly. So let's see with an example. So if you see, there is another class called configuration where I have declared two static members or two static variable, app name and version, and this is the static constructor static configuration. As constructor name will be always same with the class name, so it is same as the class name configuration and the keyword will be static. So app name equal to my app, version equal to 1. Here I am setting the value of these two fields. Then what it will do? Inside our main method, whenever we will trying to print or access those static variables like configuration.appName, configuration.version. Let's add a debugger here as well and run the application. See, it will go to this static constructor and the output will be my app and version 1. So the static constructor initialize the static fields app name and version when the configuration class is first accessed. So whenever we are trying to access the configuration class static members, that time this static constructor will be called. So constructor are essential for initializing objects and ensuring that they start in a valid state. They can be customized to accept parameters, provide default value and even initialize static members. That is all about our constructors today. So I hope you find this session helpful and informative. Please check the description below for detailed notes. Thank you for watching and please like, comment and subscribe for more C# tutorials. See you in the next video. Thank you.